guys, welcome to another season of Tiger Dads. I'm Tiger Dad B, Jason Sklar.
I think because you're doing the lead-ins, you got to be Tiger Dad A.
I'm Tiger Dad 1A, and he's Tiger Dad 1B, Beau Bass. We are so excited to do this show, and we've gotten such great feedback from parents out there who've discovered the show, not just friends of ours. This is now, I was at a tournament the other day and some guy asked me if I was friends with his friend. And I was like, I've never heard of that guy in my life. And he was like, oh, I thought you were friends with him because he shared your podcast with me. And so I get recognized for a bunch of things that I've done in this world. If it's a girl in her like mid-20s, I'm like, oh, you just discovered Grey's Anatomy on Netflix. If it's some dude who looks like he hasn't gotten out of his basement in 14 years, I'm like, Cheap Seats from the early aughts. Now I'm starting to get people saying Tiger Dads.
Tiger Dads.
And you've gotten it too.
It's, it's been kind of cool. We've been getting, because we're going to tournaments, we're like going to these junior tournaments, and it's weirdly like you talk about your friends. Like, I haven't really been telling friends about this, only because it's like kind of weird to self-promote to your friends a little bit. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, well, definitely embarrassed you.
Yeah, but I agree. And I think there's a point at which you want it to have its own momentum and you want people to start to discover it. And what we've learned from people approaching us, not just them saying, hey, Tiger Dads, what they say a lot of times is, I'm so glad you're vocalizing a lot of the feelings that we have as parents.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of thank yous. Like, a mom came up to me at a tournament who I had met, but she was like, hey, I started listening to Tiger Dads. Thank you for sounding like such a jerk. Because then I think people are realizing they're not alone in these feelings.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll tell you, I had a very interesting conversation. So a really good friend of mine I grew up with doesn't play golf. His sons don't play golf. We had dinner and I was telling him about it. And he's like, oh, let me check it out. I'm like, dude, you're so busy. You're not going to listen to this. So I sent him the link because he asked.
Sure.
A week later, he's like, Beau, this thing's amazing. I'm like, oh, you listened to an episode? He's like, no, dude, I listened to the whole thing.
Oh my God. That's
I'm like, bro, you don't even like golf. He's like, my kids play tennis. It's exactly the same.
So someone else told me that too. I shared a clip. They saw a clip of what we were talking about. And they're like, if you just strip out the word golf, you're talking about gymnastics, you're talking about dance. They're like, this applies to dance, like dance moms, dance dads. When you get into the world of investing time in your kids and watching them hopefully rise within a competitive arena, and you don't know how much to push them and don't know how much to lay back. You don't know what's important, what's not important. And as we say on this podcast, we make the mistakes so you don't have to. But I think really we almost can amend it. We make the mistakes that you make. We vocalize them so you necessarily can feel better about what you're doing.
So you know you're not alone.
You know
you're not alone out there.
You aren't. So we all go through these experiences. And I think, after the first season, we had some incredible guests on, and we're going to have amazing guests on this season. We're going to outdo ourselves that we did before. We had incredible swing coaches. Colin Morikawa's swing coach right before he went out and won a tournament.
Yeah, literally the week before.
The week before he
won.
The week before he won at one of the most iconic golf courses in America. So that's huge. We've had LPGA players. We've had Epson Tour players. We've had famous, from the short game. We had Amari on. We had her dad on. We had unbelievable people around the game. We're going to continue to do that this season. But we're also going to sort of get into, I think, again, the psychological side that we deal with every single time we go out and play. And it's funny because I will, before every round, I will say to myself, I'll say to my daughter, I'm going to be cool today. I'm going to be cool today. And then something happens where I'm like, I can't control myself.
So we've taken a few weeks off here. And through all of this, I'm like, man, we talk about it after every episode. We're like, oh, man, I learned so much talking to, Allison Corpuz. I'm like, oh, we learned so much talking to Rick Seshinghouse, about how to control ourselves. And then I immediately go out and act like an asshole.
You can't control it.
I just can't help it.
You can't control it. So some people might say, well, you have a problem. some people also might say, well, that's just a sign of your investment in the kid and in the moment. And we say it's that we want our kids to be successful and we want them to feel the joy and the rewards of all the work. We see the behind the scenes work. I think that has a little something to do with it. We see how much they're grinding. We see how much time they're taking to pour into this thing. And you just want them to reap some reward or benefit beyond just playing, just to say like, okay, there's a value in all your hard work that it can lead to
like
something.
We know how hard they're working.
Yes.
And honestly, how hard we're working. Like
we're working.
Shuffling them around and
how our games are suffering.
Oh, my game is so suffering.
I'm getting better.
You're getting better. You got room to go. It's great.
I have way more room to improve. I just want to be
that
playable.
Was so mean.
No, dude, you saw me. I've been out there and it's been so bad and everyone's been so nice to me. You're like, no one pays attention to any ball except their own. I feel like you've told me that. But like for our kids and for how we feel in tournaments, I think I've listened to all these episodes. I've listened to the feedback and also the advice from the players and whatnot. And I think all we can do as parents in this scenario, and tell me if you agree with me, is try to do better. And if you try to do better and you won't get all the way better in terms of controlling your insane emotions, but if you take steps in the right direction, it's its own grind. It's its own grind forward as you learn how to cope with how they play.
This season, I think just talking it out with you, talking it out with all the pros, I've definitely learned a lot.
Yep.
I'm trying so hard. And it's like, I think I've realized like maybe once a year, I just have kind of a meltdown. And we'll get into it later when we talk. I got a doozy of a story. Hang around. I have one too. We got some good stories.
But like little things that like Rick mentioned, like he's like, if you can't control your emotions, he didn't say don't have the emotions. He was like, walk up to where the next shot lands. So you're not standing where your child is hitting.
I did that.
I did that too. Yeah. I did that. And I was like, ooh, this is good. Because if I'm mad about something, I get to yell it to a tree. And I'm not saying it anywhere near my kid. I'm like, ooh, that was a great piece of advice. So what we're trying to do on this podcast, if this is your first time tuning in, is give you some tips, give you some thoughts from the highest level, from people who came up through the youth game to become professionals, to people who guide professionals, to our own experiences. We're going to try and explore ways for us to cope with our own children's successes and failures on the golf course and how we all can grow to be better parents, better, supporters of our children, because they're taking us on this journey. We're all in this journey of golf, which turns out golf is hard. Like that whenever I see a comedian, as a professional comedian, whenever my brother and I, who we do comedy together, whenever we see a comedian struggling on stage, our first thought is never that comedian sucks. Our first thought is comedy is hard. Like,
because I'm like, this guy sucks.
Okay, so I go, that's hilarious. I go, this comedy is hard. So you can't say your kid sucks at golf. You just have to go, golf is hard.
Golf is hard. Comedy, I'm sure, is hard too, but golf is fucking hard.
Golf is harder than comedy. Golf is hard. Comedy and golf are both hard. And so I know I've gone a long way in the comedy world, and I've understand that you got to be bad for a while before you get good. And just when you think you're good, you're bad again. And then you keep getting incrementally better until you get to a point where you're good. And we've watched our kids sort of go through that path. As parents and supporters, we got to go through the same path.
And it's the same thing with our behavior.
Right.
It's hard.
That's what I'm saying.
So today's going to be good. I mean, super excited to be back. Season 2.
Yes.
We got our own Tiger Dad set now.
Look at
We're
this.
Gonna keep building. We got our own spot.
So like and subscribe to this podcast. The way this podcast grows and that we get to do more is you share it with your friends. This is a very shareable podcast. Anyone you know who's a sports parent in any sport, share this podcast with them, especially golf. Share it with friends, share it with coaches, share it with people. Our goal is to entertain you, also to reveal stuff about ourselves, say the inside thing on the outside so it makes you feel better about what you're going through, and also interact with some unbelievable people who will give you some great tips on how to be.
Yeah, today just you and me coming back for season 2, but we'll talk some parent behavior when we come back. We take a little break. But excited. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. All right, let's get into some things that have happened to us with our own children and just share some of our own missteps since the last season happened.
All right, so I'm gonna share a story, and this isn't even actually how it affected my child, but this is really interesting because we talk about parent behavior, and usually it's our behavior and messing with our own kid.
Yes,
but this was actually like my behavior affected somebody else's kid.
You didn't hit someone else's kid.
No, so we're in. I threw a ball at them. I missed. So we're in a 2-day tournament, and day 2, second day, Emmy's like going into the second round, second place, kind of making some mental mistakes, and we're not caddying. This is no caddy. Early in the round, she's just making mistakes. Sort of falls down the leaderboard. Second back 9, she's making her way back up. And it's just a really slow round. The group in front of us is really slow.
Brutal.
We get to, so we're like, I think we're all like on 14 or 15. So we're getting late in the round. And she is on a par 5 in 2. She's got like
on the green
in 2. She's got like a 30-footer for eagle. And this tournament has live scoring. So it's more stressful. So I'm on my phone watching, and you can see what everyone's doing. And we're in the final group, so I know exactly where she is. There's a couple back of the lead. She's like tied with a couple of girls for that second place. And so again, we've talked about it before, where I'm feeling the pressure. Like, I don't know why this tournament's totally meaningless, but I'm feeling the pressure.
Yeah. Because she's close. Because she's close to doing something.
She's close. And so she's got a chance at an eagle, worst case a birdie, but she's got a long putt, and she's back of the green. And the other girls are kind of futzing around. And then one of the girls was sort of on the front of the green. And a girl I know, the dad and I are really close. Girl's a sweet, sweet kid. And she's on the front of the green, but her ball is...
off?
No, it's off the green, but you know, like they have those little sprinkler heads?
Yeah.
And so either her stance or the ball's in a sprinkler head. And she can just take relief. You know, she knows the rules. And but she... being like a responsible player,
is asking the other players,
calling
the official,
calling Emmy in to confirm, and I'm like, come on, let's speed up. Like all I want is Emmy focusing on her. Like she had like a 40-foot putt for eagle. I'm like, I want her focusing on this putt, and then Emmy, and then I'm away, and they're going back and forth. And I'm just sort of like gesticulating at Emmy. I'm like, just go back to go focus on you. Like, don't worry.
So in your head, you're like, I can see my kid losing focus on her task at hand.
She's like, now she's chatting with the other girl. And I'm like, I'm waving at Emmy, like, just go back, you know.
You're just losing it.
I'm kind of losing it. Because again, it's like, we've been out there for like 5 hours at this point. I'm like tired. I'm like, just focus on you,
just
you know.
Finish.
And after the round, my buddy, you know, it all worked out, you know, whatever. Didn't make her eagle, by the way, made a birdie.
Not bad.
After the round, my buddy called me. He's like, hey, you know, my daughter was worried that you were mad at her. And I was like, what? Why would I be mad at her? He's like, well, when we were on that hole. And I was like, oh, and it occurred to me
that your emotion,
my
anxiety
and behavior was, Emmy was ignoring me. Like she didn't bother. No sweat about my behavior because she knows. But it actually affected
another kid
that I really like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want this kid to think I was mad at her because she thought I was waving and mad at her.
Right. She was like, she thought you were saying get going and finish.
And I was only annoyed with my own kid. But like from 30 yards away, this is an 11-year-old or, you know, like how she now has a dad that she knows, like she thinks is like mad at her. And I was like, okay, that is a really good lesson. I wrote a letter. I told my buddy, I'm like, I'm writing a letter. So I wrote her a letter apologizing.
Wow.
Because I didn't want this kid
to think that you were angry
that I'm mad at her. And regardless if I was whatever, but the whole point was that like, I have to realize that my antics on the course towards my own daughter is literally affecting other kids.
Yeah.
And we've been through it where Emmy's like, God, that guy was, you know, Jason was screaming over there. What's this problem?
Emmy said to me, she's like, I can't believe you behaved like that on the golf course when I know you to be so different in life. And I'm like, yeah, in life, I'm just like a fun goof off guy. But then when we get into these like tournaments, I get like, I'm a competitive person too. Like that. So like, that is what I realized about myself. Like, and I think you have a little of that in you as well, which is not a bad thing, by the way. I don't think it's bad, but I think that's what takes over within us a little bit. And you do forget your surroundings. You do forget that like you're motioning to your kid, but this other kid is in the line of fire.
Yeah, and I felt really bad. But again, I feel like that's just a learning experience for me.
Totally.
You know, again, we talked about apologizing. I apologized to my kid. I apologized to my buddy and his kid.
So this is a really important thing. And you know, I'm not a child psychologist or whatever, but my wife is one. So maybe I'm getting some stuff.
Maybe we need to bring her in.
We probably should, just to like put her here, put us on the couch. I think it's important to apologize to your kid. Like, no one ever gets through life without making mistakes. It's how you deal with the backside of the mistake that's important. And I think when we apologize to our kids for our own bad behavior, our own misbehavior, our own inability to control our emotions, you are showing them later in life that that's what they do when they have those moments with their partners, with their kids eventually. It's okay to apologize. If you come from people who never apologize for anything and just gaslight the hell out of you all the time, like you could have easily been like, I was doing that to my kid. And I don't know why your kid thought I was doing it to her, but you know, she needs to recognize.
No. But
like that's one way you could have gone. But like by showing your kid, hey, I'm going to write a letter to this kid and I'm going to apologize to you because I was a little out of control. You know, I feel like I apologize to my kid once or twice after every round. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I lost it. She's like, you can't say yikes when I hit a drive audibly for everyone to hear.
Yeah, inside voice.
Like, I don't want to say yikes, but I can't control it. So I apologize for that afterwards. But it is so interesting also, like how much we aren't aware. So you weren't aware. I have a similar story, different direction. You weren't aware of your surroundings and you were dialed into your kid a little bit. You didn't realize that your emotion could have affected that kid.
It just didn't even dawn on me.
That's what I mean.
In the moment. And it should have, because we talk about how other parents' behavior is affecting us, like me and Emmy. And so it's like, logically I know this, but in the moment I'm just sort of like, Emmy, just focus on you, you know? But this other kid thought I was motioning at her. Yeah. And I was like, I felt pretty awful. I
first of all, 100% feel I probably would have done exactly what you did and understand that you were not in the wrong. It just was an unfortunate situation that like someone got caught.
Well, no, here's the thing is I was 100% wrong because like I'm not even supposed to be communicating with them.
That's actually true.
And it was like, I'm not really coaching. I'm just like, go finish.
Right.
You know,
you wish almost like they had like the, you know, like in the NFL, the helmet, the helmet mic.
Helmet cam.
So, all right,
helmet
just
mic.
get to your shot. But yeah, so I had different outcomes, same lack of awareness of the scenario. So I'm going to tell this story about how my daughter won her first tournament in all the tournaments that she's played, which is a bunch, got her first victory, and I almost ruined it by having the opposite emotion as we came in off of the 9th hole. All right, so it's a 9-hole round. It's JDT 12 to 14. We were playing a kind of a tough, tricky course, Alhambra course, and she had done really well on the first bunch of holes. And in our mind, we set a goal. We said, okay, let's try to get 6 rounds of +6 or better so that you have the option when you want to move up if you want to try some Players Tour, which is the next level up. You know that.
I want to come back to this, but I want to finish the story. Yeah,
I know. But so I just want it. That's a goal we set. All right. I just want you to be able to set a goal to try to get that. So she's playing great the whole beginning of the, and I don't even know, we don't have live score. I'm not looking at live scoring or anything. I'm just watching my kid play. I'm being great. She got out of some tricky moments. I'm not saying anything. I'm just being supportive. I'm walking in the distance. She had like a couple times where she was on the green and was putting for birdie, but then it ended up being a bogey. I didn't even have a big issue. I was being great. We get to the 9th hole. She's 4 over. I'm like, okay, There's water on the left. I'm like, just don't go in the water. Don't go in the water, and you could double bogey this, and you'll be 6 over. That's the goal. That's what we were going for this whole tournament. Right off the tee, hits it right into trouble behind a tree. Like good drive far, but like behind some trees. I'm like, oh my God, all right. Then she punches out from, I yell, yikes, shouldn't have done that. She punches out from below the trees to like 45 yards, like a brilliant, masterful shot. Low, beautiful shot, gets right back to the middle of the fairway. She's 45 yards away from the green. I'm like, oh, we might birdie this, but she might par this. She's definitely not, bogey is the worst case scenario. I haven't seen her do this in ages. Sculls the shot past the green, like almost into the parking lot. Then she chips back over, bounces 2 times on the green, goes off the green because the green was slanted down.
And you're like counting down.
Now I'm like, uh-oh. So now that's 4 shots. So I'm like, now she has to chip it close and putt it in. 5th shot, she chips up, decent chip. I'm like, okay, this is it. You got to make the shot if you're going to get 6, because in my mind, that's the goal. Misses the putt, like a 5-footer, rims out, then taps in, and she got a +7. And I was like, I could feel the blood rushing out of my face, and I was like, so upset, walking around. She could tell I was really angry. I could tell she was really angry. She was on the verge of tears. I was like, what happened? And she's like, this wasn't a bad shot coming back. I'm like, it actually wasn't. I was trying to be cool, but I was so mad, and she was so mad. And I was almost like, let's go home. But that was like, you know what? I'm going to just check the leaderboard and just see where she's at. Just cause we were in the second to last group. I checked the leaderboard, and in the scoring, the best person in the groups in front of us was +9. She was +7.
She's like, oh, I'm in a good spot.
She's in the lead in the clubhouse. We have one more group coming in. I'm watching them play behind us. I'm like, there's no one in this group who's doing better than you. And we start watching it, and our emotions had to shift immediately. But I'm like, why did I have to come back from such a bad place?
Now we're cheering against these other kids.
I don't want to root against kids, but also in my mind, I'm also like, miss it. It's me, Noonan. But I'm also up in that area going like, I felt so dumb for being so mad about her missing some arbitrary cut that we made. We made the decision that was 6 or better. It's based on their rules, but like, who cares? Who cares? But I cared so much for some reason. She cared so much for some reason. We were both so crestfallen at the result on the 9th hole that we didn't look at the context of the whole tournament. And they came in, and of course, no one was better than she was in that day. And she won the whole tournament. And I was like, this is a landmark moment for you. It's a big moment for you. And we almost ruined it from 30 minutes earlier being like pissed. And I felt so dumb, and I felt like angry at myself. I was like, I need to be so much better as a supporter. Like, why couldn't I just, when she came in, say, all right, that sucked, but let's see where you are, instead of me being like, what happened? What the hell?
How'd you mess that up?
Yeah, how do we screw that up? All you had to do is get a double bogey here. You haven't gotten a double bogey for the rest of the day, and you tripled? Like, what are we doing? That every bad thought was like exiting my mouth.
Finishing a round like that is so hard, though.
It's devastating, especially when you've been so on point the whole rest of the round. But that just goes to show you that, number one, nothing matters as much as you think it does in that moment. Number two, have context. Understand where you are in the round. Like, there are guys who have finished major tournaments, won majors, and they finished with a double bogey because that's what they needed to win. Like, they were 3 up, and they're like, all right, I put it past the hole, I put it back, who cares? I got a 6 on this one. All you need to do is win by 1.
Yeah, I won.
And so, not that winning is everything, but winning what is sort of the goal when you go to enter a tournament. That is a goal. You also want to have fun, and you also want to get better and all those things. However, I was taking so seriously this little goal that was separate from another goal that I wasn't paying attention. And I felt so dumb, and I know parents do this all the time. And so I'm like, I don't even know how I do better next time, but I guess I need to just be more aware of the whole overall situation.
I think for all of us, it's just the awareness of and again, I think the reminder is, we heard it from Rick, Session House. We heard it from Justin. We've heard it from almost from every pro we've had on.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you know what? Those tournaments when I was 12, that didn't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter at all. The results don't matter. It's just the development and the reps.
So the results don't matter in that respect, but I'm going to say this. Your kid can be encouraged by a positive result to, I don't want to say necessarily like grind harder, but like if they know that's attainable in any way once in a while, not all the time, but once in a while, if your kid can have some, like I can only say it in terms of comedy, like when we were encouraged, when we would have a good set or book a TV something off of a set of comedy, that sent a message to ourselves saying all this hard work you're doing is sending you in the right direction. You do need to be aware of that.
Well, the results are an affirmation of the work that gets put in. So they matter. They don't matter in the big scheme of things, but they absolutely, it's nice to get results because the kids feel good about themselves. They get a little medal or a trophy.
It's the feedback. It's the accomplishment feedback loop. It's the feedback loop. You go, okay, I'm working. And if it's leading to disappointing results, then at some point, if that's the only loop you're in and it never takes you to a different place, then I can see where it gets frustrating. You're like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go back to the point you were making about that +6 goal.
Yes, please.
So I don't know what it's like in other cities, but here in Southern California, the Southern California PGA, there are different levels, different tiers of tournaments. And I know in other cities, is whatever their PGA locals have, there's usually tiers.
Right.
And here in LA, in Southern California, to move from the lower tier to the next tier up, you have to have 6 rounds +6 or better. And so we were lucky, Emmy kind of breezed through that, but we also have had friends that have like struggled and have been so laser focused on that score line that like, and I know I have one friend who I feel like kind of burned his kid out. And again, I can't speak for him, but like, because they were so focused on this +6, the kid knew the target was +6 and they were grinding so hard to get to this next level that it took them like a year of like tournaments every weekend. And it's so tough mentally because, from an 11, 12-year-old, like, hey, I made a double in the first hole. And it's like, there goes my +6.
There goes that round. Yeah.
And then like the rest of the round is sort of like mentally they're sort of shot. But by the time she actually got her 6 rounds of +6, she was kind of done.
Yeah. She's like, I'm out.
So it kind of ruined it. We're like, I think we went through it. Emmy didn't even know that was a thing. She was just out playing, not worrying about a target number, and could play loose and free, and like won a bunch. And like it was the +6s just happened naturally because there was no pressure of hitting that number. Because you're feeling that pressure.
I'm feeling the pressure.
I'm sure she knows. She's got her card. She knows where she's at. So it's sort of like now you can't put the genie back in that bottle? Not
really, but like if I don't bring it up and we just go play, then it will take that a little off the center stage. You're right.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's the right answer because some people might argue like, oh, it's good to have a goal and a target number. But to me, when they're young, it's like extra pressure to be like, you have to do this. Where if they're just playing and they're not thinking about
what they're doing,
playing
then maybe
each shot the best they can,
get there.
They're just going to get there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's hard to not bring it up, and you're right. I wonder if the genie is out of the bottle for me. So maybe if you have a kid and you haven't brought up like, hey, this is how you get to the next level, maybe it's worth not even mentioning it, and you just like mentally clocking it on your own. I guess that's the better.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it worked for us.
Yeah, I think that's better. I mean, I've definitely gone the wrong way, which. Also, we'll see how that works. But, again, I almost ruined a really joyful moment by right before that moment having like super negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Which, in the end, all it served to me is to feel bad about how I felt and to be like, that was unnecessary. That negativity didn't help anyone at all because, look, the result was positive. And in the end, she played great all day. She just had one bad hole. She had a bad hole at the end.
And she won.
I mean, if she had had that bad hole on 2 and just like came through and just played great through the end, all right.
You wouldn't even, you would have walked off 9 and been
would have walked off feeling great.
Yeah.
She birdied 9 and we walked off. We would have been like, come on. So, it's context. It's understanding the whole round. It's understanding where you are in the larger picture. And then, of course, the 30,000 foot look down on it is like, none of this actually matters at all.
No.
Except that we want our kids to want to continue whatever motivates them and helps them feel connected to wanting to get better. So whatever that does, whatever contributes to that, we should be in support of that.
The one thing I like about golf, at least so far for us, and I feel like I've seen it with you and Noah as well, is that it's obviously, we talk about it being really hard, but the more they play and practice, so we're really lucky. Our course finally opened back up.
Yes.
And over the last 2 months, basically since January, we're in March now, Emmy's been finally practicing almost every day because school is 2 minutes from the club. We go to the club and get 30, 45 minutes of light work and almost daily. Mm-hmm. And we've seen not just her scores dropping, but her ball striking, everything's just better.
Yep.
And I asked her, I was like, hey, how are you feeling about your game? She's like, oh, no, it's like, I love the way I'm hitting it. My irons are great.
So she feels better.
So she feels better, but it's like she can see the work I'm doing is translating quickly. And so that's a good lesson.
That's the lesson for all of life. That is the lesson for anything, whether it's comedy, whether it's business, whether it's whatever your kid is going to end up doing, because all of our kids, I'm going to say all of our kids minus the tiny, tiny sliver percent, are not going to be LPGA players.
No.
But they're going to hopefully take those lessons into whatever they choose to do. And that is why golf is a great sport, because it's definitely not easy and it's definitely frustrating. And it's like you have to live through the frustration and come out on the other side. And I think that's, people want to knock kids today. They want to knock them and say they don't have grit. A lot of kids don't have grit. That's like a knock on the younger generations, is that parents just pick them up and do it for them. There's no way for us to do it for these kids.
I can't do
Golf
it. Golf
teaches them that. So the fact that you're putting your kids out on a golf course right now is you're teaching them grit. You're teaching them to get through hard times. You're teaching them to hit out of trouble. You're teaching them that, it's more important how you finish a hole than how you start a hole. All these things are I think are things that will come back in another form in whatever life they choose.
Both of us need our daughters to come hit shots for us, to get us out of trouble.
I'm in so much trouble. That's my goal, is to get good enough that I can actually go hang with my kid and play. That's that. Look, let that be the thing. Let me be chasing my daughter's abilities.
Oh no, Emmy has to give me strokes now. It's the worst.
It happens.
And she talks so much trash to me when we play.
No one's allowed to talk trash to me because I'm the reason why you're here. I'm the reason why you're on this earth. All right, that was
great.
So
I love it. Good stories.
We're going to really work on our guests this season. We're going to keep teaching lessons and keep sharing our stories. And again, we're going to do a mailbag too eventually. So
this season, I'm super excited. We've got some more coaches coming on.
Great.
D1 and D3 coaches.
Great.
National Development Program coaches. We've got a bunch of pros. We're going to be on site at the LPGA event here in LA, interviewing some pros and caddies. So I got some great caddy guests coming on.
Phenomenal.
We're going to be, the USGA's hooked us up. We're going to be at the Curtis Cup, which is the girls' sort of US-Europe, Ryder Cup style matches. We'll be on site doing some interviews.
It's going to be great.
So we got a lot of fun stuff coming.
And maybe merch. That's the other thing. There have been calls for merch. Tiger Dad's merch, all that stuff. Look for it. As we say, always like and subscribe. Share this with your friends who play golf or whose kids play golf or who kids might be interested in playing golf. Let this be your starter kit on how to be a golf parent, a Tiger Dad or a Tiger Mom. This is your chance to maybe understand some of the mistakes we've made. Sidestep, avoid some of the snags.
And we keep making mistakes. That's the killer.
Yeah, that's the good news. We'll always continue to make mistakes. I do another podcast called Dumb People Town, and someone once asked us, do you ever fear that you're going to run out of dumb stories of people doing dumb things? the guy who tried to rob a house with his cat. I'm like, no, Florida still exists. There will always be dumb stories. We will always make dumb mistakes. So there will always be material. We can do these episodes until we die. So we're going to just
I have so many stories since we've been off, but not just about us, but about other stuff, but we'll save them for the next one.
All right, we'll save it for the next one. Thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you next time.
Straight down the middle. It went straight down the middle.